Much is made of the distinction between moderate and extreme Muslims, and by extension of extreme and moderate religiosity in general. When such a distinction is made, it is invariably to denounce extremism in favor of moderation. I'd like to interrogate this distinction. It is true that moderation belongs, as a generalization, to the virtues, but this is a generalization. In certain matters, particularly those pertaining to spirituality, it is desirable to take things to their utmost, to the extreme. God is synonymous with the good in the Platonic sense. Surely even the most hardline atheist would have to agree there is no such thing as excess in being in conformity with the good. To claim otherwise is an absurdity. A discrete thing may have the quality of goodness when taken in moderation, but taken to the extreme take on the quality of badness. Good in itself, however, cannot be anything but good. To be a Muslim is to try to submit oneself to Allah, that is to say, to the good. To follow any orthodox religion is, again, to try to live in conformity with the good. It is difficult then to see why one should want to be a religious moderate. Why should one want to be moderately in conformity with the will of God? Follow religion, but not too much. Our ability to abstain from sin is naturally limited. But should we try to be moderate in our attempts to so abstain? Or should one apply one's efforts to the utmost, that is to say, to the extreme? Should a Christian moderate their love of God, contrary to the Bible's injunction to love him with the whole of our being? One may reply that Buddhism and Ruism enjoin us to follow the middle path or the golden mean, respectively. But these middle ways are themselves to be followed to their extremity. Indeed, the second character of one of the Ruist Taoist terms for the absolute, Taiji, could be rendered as the extreme or extremity. The suggestion that one should be moderate in one's religiosity expresses liberal hegemony, the implicit center from which one should only moderately depart, and from which extreme distance is to be deplored, is the norms of secular liberalism. To the extent that religiosity becomes illiberal and unmodern, to that extent is it judged extreme. Of course, none of the above is cognized by those who employ the moderate extremist dichotomy. It is correct, nonetheless, to insist upon the implications of these terms, in line with the sage Kongtsu's teaching that we must use the right words. What is usually meant by the term extremism is the heresy of religious fundamentalism. Fundamentalism is admittedly an unsatisfactory term, both because of its specifically Protestant origins and because its literal meaning, to return to the fundamentals, is entirely unobjectionable, as it is used to indicate strictly literal, and therefore entirely exoteric, reading of sacred scripture is useful as a shorthand for that family of heresies common to all religions, characterized by an excessive concern with the principle of justice at the expense of the principle of compassion. It is proper to object to fundamentalism, but in view of the foregoing, it is problematic to characterize it as extremism. It implicitly charges that what is wrong with fundamentalism is not that it is a heresy, but because it takes religion too far, that is, from the liberal norm. This is objectionable not only because it privileges liberal norms and values, but perhaps worse, because it implicitly casts fundamentalists as being more religious than non-fundamentalists, thus conceding to the fundamentalists their claim to represent the true expression of their religion. Fundamentalists should not be decried for being extreme or illiberal. They should be decried for being heterodox. Their error lies not in taking the teaching to the extreme, but in deviating from it. It is religious traditionalists, or perhaps better said, the best representatives of tradition, who are the genuine religious extremists, and it is they who we should all aspire to emulate. If you value my work, I'd be most grateful if you would like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share this video with anyone you think might be interested. If you would like to support me in working on this project, I'd be deeply thankful if you would consider becoming a regular supporter through Patreon or making a one-time donation through Ko-fi, links in the description. If you do subscribe, please remember to hit that little bell icon, because otherwise YouTube won't inform you when I upload new videos. If you'd prefer to read my essays over the video format, they are all available in written form on Substack, link also in the description.